So the new series Willow on Disney Plus just dropped. Let's talk about episode 1 today here on the Geek Corner. Now, I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep hanging on to hope that Disney Lucasfilm is not going to mess up the properties that I love. I have been a huge Willow fan ever since the first movie came out. I still have, the books. Like, this was the sequel series that George Lucas and Chris Claremont wrote, and I know this wasn't very well received, and it's not great. But anyways, at least this was George Lucas's story. I wasn't expecting this series to follow that in any kind of way whatsoever. I even still have this. This is the Willow source book. This was a book that was put out by Alan Varney so that you could use Dungeons and Dragons rules and create your own campaigns in the Willow world. And never actually played it, but I was writing so many stories and in that world, and I just loved it. The Knights of Galadorn and all the different species, and just like, this was great. So I really like Willow a lot. My room as a teenager, I had the Mad Mardigan posters and the General Kale posters and Sorsha posters. Just I was into Willow for a season even more than I was into Star Wars. So I wanted to like this. I really did. The last trailer that was dropped, I had a lot of hope. And there's gonna be some spoilers here, okay? And this is the kind of stuff that just, what I nitpick a lot about here on my channel is these details in storytelling that just ruin world building, that just ruin these properties, that just they just don't seem to get it, where they're constantly trying to make the viewer see themselves in the show. Now, I'm not talking about gender issues or anything like that, and honestly, if it fits the story, I don't care. I actually thought that kind of the tension between, the love story between the two girls fit. Like, it's not even that. But let's talk about some of these little things on how they just break world building in trying to tell these stories, right? So you got Sorsha and Mad Mardigan. So Sorsha is now the queen of the realm, and Sorsha has 2 children, twins, Eric and Kit. And Eric is like this womanizer, kind of like his father was, Mad Mardigan, and Kit is into girls, whatever, and is tough and rebellious, and they both have American accents. Now, it's stuff like that drives me mental, absolutely mental, because Sorsha has a British accent, Mad Mardigan has a British accent, everyone in the castle has a British accent, everyone in the entire realm has a British accent, except for these teenagers. All the teenager actors in the show don't. Right? And so they're like something that you would see out of Beverly Hills 90210, pompous, arrogant, independent, experts at everything, and you get to see yourself in these characters. And this stuff is what drives me mental. Like, if you want to have different accents and different looks and different nationalities, that's awesome, right? But then make it fit the story. Make it fit. It's not complicated to just explain this. Well, they went off to school, and that's why their accents are different. If you grew up with British parents and everyone else around you had a British accent, you're gonna sound British. It's the way it works, okay? And then, again, just, so many little nitpicking things. Like, there's this force field around the realm, in order to protect the realm, but the bad guys got in, no problem, and kidnapped Eric. And so everyone's got to go on this quest to kidnap Eric. So you have a force field to protect the realm from evil, but evil just was able to walk in. Okay, you might want to explain that. And at one point, they're going, they're camping for the night, and the handmaiden who kind of is in love with Eric, who showed up, was supposed to be a part of the fellowship, part of this journey. she has to cross this big giant chasm on a tree because she escaped during the middle of the night, but everyone else crossed on a bridge. Right, so why didn't the handmaiden go on the bridge? Like, it's just stuff like that. It's just sloppy writing. Now, some pluses about the show. The music was beautiful. The set was beautiful. It actually felt like Willow. The costuming was really great. So production value. The production value is excellent. It's probably one of the best production values I've seen out of a Disney Plus show thus far. So that's awesome. That's 2 big thumbs up for that. But again, these characters, they just don't fit the realm. They just don't fit the realm where they live. And one last big plus is the surprise ending. Now, I won't spoil that. I'll let you watch that for yourself. But about time, right? But my problem with Disney Plus shows is they just don't have a hook at the beginning. It's like you got to get to like episode 6 before it gets remotely interesting. I mean, the first season of The Mandalorian did this really well when they introduced Baby Yoda. Oh, sorry, Grogu. I still call him Baby Yoda. When they introduced Baby Yoda in that first episode, it's like, oh my goodness, this is something new. This is amazing. You're hooked. Right? But every other show since then, it's been dragged on. This is why even with Andor, right? They had to like release 3 episodes right at the beginning because it was boring. The first episode, boring. The second episode, boring. Third episode, okay, now there's finally something interesting. Right? So at least they did this with Willow. At least they did a little bit of a surprise ending, a little bit of a twist. It's like, oh, I actually didn't see that coming. I should have saw it coming because now that I think about it, it was really obvious. But I didn't. It surprised me. I didn't see it. And so I was like, good, okay, a hook. Something to get me to go back and watch the second episode. Because if it was just based on the first 50 minutes of the show, I probably wouldn't go back. And especially about 19 minutes into the show, where you kind of find out, again, spoiler, that Mad Mardigan ditched and left his kids. Another Lucasfilm deadbeat dad. Now and here's the thing, they kind of implied, oh no, the reason he did this was because he had to protect the Laura Danning, the little baby from the movie. And then you find out he didn't. Come on, man. Okay, I get it, you don't like men, but does every hero that I grew up with have to become a deadbeat? Really? So, that's just my initial thoughts on this first episode of Willow. I'm giving this like a 3.5 out of 10. And the 3.5 is really just coming from the production value and a little bit of the twist ending. So, I'll watch the second one, but if it doesn't grip me more than this, I'm just gonna go back, and even though these aren't very good, at least they're George Lucas's stories, and I'll just go back and enjoy Willow here. So if you watched that first episode, I would love to know your thoughts about it down in the comment section below. As always, I so appreciate all of you being a part of the community here. It means a lot to me. All the money that I make off of YouTube goes to support kids in Guatemala. And so I really appreciate that. So until the next video, when I review episode 2, most likely, here on the channel, God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.